What? This team will be the death of me. They will be the death of me. How we squeezed this one out, I don't know. Nick Foles is magical. The Eagles win 32-30. They kick a field goal to win it as the time expires. Wow. You see, Jake Elliott missed a extra point earlier in this game, and he also had Doug Peterson going for a stupid, random-ass two-point conversion, which made no sense at all, which could have came back and bit us in the ass, but we end up finding a way to grind this one out. Nick Foles, 471 yards throwing, 4 touchdowns. One of those big drives coming with 2 minutes left after we just blew a 13-point lead in 10 minutes and we get into field goal territory. I am just stunned. He also had an interception and a fumble. And I will tie it all into place here because I want to look at the positives I take out of this because there are a lot of positives. Even though we did blow a 13-point lead with 10 minutes left, there was still obviously positives in this football game. So Ertz, okay, he was amazing. Amazing. 110 yards today, 2 touchdowns. He was a beast. He passed the record for tight ends with receptions. Just a stud today. Let's take a look at this offense as a whole. Nelson Aguilar, 116 yards. Ertz, 110. Sproles over 100 total combined when it comes to rushing and receiving. Alshon Jeffrey, 82. You also have Goddard in there. Tate in there. Jordan Matthews in there. It was literally separated and dialed to all of the receivers today out of Nick Foles. Chris Long, Brandon Graham to get that combination sack fumble. Fletcher Cox with the recovery. They got their ski masks on. How about the 4th and 2 call by Doug Peterson to get Darren Sproles a touchdown to give us a 7-0 lead? That beautiful touch up the sideline. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. There was one drive that stood out to me. It was 9-7, right? Eagles had momentum. We were in their red zone. We don't get in. We don't get in. After a nice other sideline play to Darren Sproles, we have 3 opportunities to get in. Didn't. We stay alive because of a J.J. Watt roughing the passer call. Then we get a hold. Then we get a delay of game. We're at the 16-yard line when we were just at the 1. It ends up we battle back into it, 4th and 1 at the goal line. And we find a way to punch it in and get in the end zone. It was a grind. It was a battle. We had it. We didn't have it. We had it. We got called back and this and that. We still grind in there and we still find a way. This is when Doug Peterson elects to go for 2. Yes, Nick Foles got face mask, but there was no reason to go for 2. I don't know how they missed the face mask, which goes hand in hand with how Brandon Graham's huge hit on Deshaun Watson was not a penalty. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Or I'm sorry, I don't know how it was a penalty. It should not have been a penalty whatsoever. Blows my mind how poorly games have been officiated throughout the entire league this season. It's at an all-time high. An all-time high. It's not just the Eagles that get boned with calls like this. Literally every team in the NFL. And it's a shame because it's such atrocious. But I don't even want to go there because the Eagles found a way to grind this game out. Nelson Aguilar's 83-yard touchdown. These are the positives. It's amazing. J.J. Watt wasn't really that much of a factor. Look at what Lane Johnson did. You had Vaitai on the other side, and yes, Clowney had some place. He had that forced fumble. He had a sack, a forced fumble, and recovered it at R5. The next play, bang, Deshaun Watson runs it in. So yeah, Clowney made some plays happen on Vaitai and that side of the line. When Foles threw that 1 interception, though, the Eagles D responds with a 3-and-out. Nothing on the board for the Texans. But let's look at what happened in that 10-minute span. Because I'm sitting there and I felt it. I felt it switch again. And it bothers me that is consistent. Listen, a win is a win is a win is a win in this league. But there is a consistent theme here when we're comfortable and we have a lead. There is a track record that shows we consistently give that up. So it's 29-16. Jake Elliott misses an extra point, so we're only up 13 with 10 minutes left. So here's the problem. Josh Adams fumbles. And I've been a guy screaming, let's put Josh Adams in. I wanted him to run the football. Maybe not in that scenario, but I've been a guy who said we need to run Josh Adams more. But I'm just looking at, was he the best person in that situation due to the fact that maybe we need a more veteran guy run the ball so fumbles don't happen? I'm just saying. Then we get a 15-yard penalty for LeBlanc hit to the head. And I'm not mad at the call because he did do it. I'm mad at the fact that there was nothing even called until the player started laying there injured. There was no call originally. It was just such a late flag. We allow a touchdown. Now we're only up 6. The Eagles respond with a 3-and-out offensively, which doesn't help whatsoever. And then when we punt the ball, instead of pinning them in their 5, we try and get greedy, get it to their 1, but we give it to a touchback. I mean, it was one thing after the next, after the next, after the next, and it was just going against the Eagles. Watson breaks 3 tackles, which could have all been sacks, and then gets a gain of 20-plus on a dime throw. Come on now. That just can't happen. That's unacceptable to the 3 guys rushing the quarterback. And then Rasul Douglas gets burned for a touchdown. That's what went wrong in that 10 minutes when we were up 13. It was bad. But Nicky Six, with 2 minutes left on the clock, after he gets rocked by Clowney, he goes down. Nate Sudfeld has to go in. After all that happens, he leads us and charges us downfield. Nick Foles. I mean, that's all you have to say. He was tremendous. 471 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was tremendous. By the way, we only allowed 104 yards total to DeAndre Hopkins. That's not bad at all. Avonte Maddox out there balling today again. I like watching him play. Keep in mind, we also had Hicks come back. A little bit of Jernigan. I'm proud of this football team. Listen, it got ugly. And there are some things I didn't like. Which was the last 10 minutes. Which was Doug Peterson electing to go for 2 for no reason whatsoever. That really could have costed us, and it got lucky it didn't. But there's just no reason at all to go for the 2. See, I put it in perspective in this way. There's times to be aggressive. Yes, we went on 4th a lot. We got big-time conversions on 4th. There's times to be aggressive, but you can overdo the aggressiveness, and that can come back to bite you. I think you need to have a decent level of aggressiveness, above average, but you need to have a line where you stop. Because then it just becomes stupidity. And in that point in time, stupid. Stupid decision to go for 2. No reason at all. But I don't want to get upset about that. Because somehow, some way, we win this football game. And the Texans are good. And they don't allow points like this. That's a good defense. We struggle to run because they stopped the run. And we just did a wonderful job. Nick Foles airing it out. That 83-yard touchdown pass to Nelson Aguilar. I saw a tweet that Mike Rowe and Nelson Aguilar got into it a little bit before half. Don't quote me on it. I saw the tweet from an Eagles insider, an Eagles reporter on Twitter. I don't know to the extent of the argument, but he responds in the second half with a big how do you do like that. Just dropped beautifully. Even with Alshon playing through the sickness, he had one big 52-yard catch and run. I loved how the Eagles responded after all of that sickening plays that occurred in that 4th quarter down the stretch. Nicky Six puts on a show for the last 2 minutes. I am just amazed. I really am amazed. And our playoff hopes stay alive. Now, the Vikings, they do business in Detroit, and they get their win. It comes down to Week 17. We are 8-7, and this team never quit. They never died. They kept fighting. When it got ugly, they kept fighting and kept fighting. You got to give them credit. No matter what happens in Week 17, you have to give them credit to be in the position that they are now. They didn't give up on their head coach. They didn't give up in that locker room, and they are fighting, and we just beat two insanely talented teams in a row in LA and at home. And these teams are solid. And you look at what the Texans had in store today, there was something to play for. They're playing for that second round bye. They are playing for serious playoff. What's the word I'm looking for here? They're playing for a serious spot in the playoffs. And we just beat them. Amazing. Deshaun Watson did beat us with his legs tonight. He did. He was escaping the pocket, making plays happen. I mean, he does that. That's what he does. We had to limit it. And whatever he got or whatever he finished with, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. They make it happen 8-7, and Week 17 now determines what happens moving forward. Let me know your thoughts down below. Jake Elliott, the hero. Nick Foles, the real hero. I'll see you next time.